In this lesson, we'll have a look at 2 simple ways of animating your cameras so that they feel more cinematic. We already tried KEYFRAMING dot in the lesson on Mixamo characters, comma dot, but now let's go from the very beginning. Keyframes are basically information of various states of your objects at a specific point in time. You can see that the transformation here dot got yellow and here a little diamond shape appeared dot, and that means we've added our first keyframe. And now with G, move the cube somewhere else and rotate it as well. When you're done, comma dot, you hit I again dot, and that adds another keyframe. Then go further in time, comma dot, move it, rotate it, and again hit I to add a keyframe. Let's do it my preferred way dot dot. Sure, I could just KYFREME dot the camera itself. However, comma dot, I like to do this extra step at an empty. Empty is sort of a standing object that has no geometry, no volume, comma dot, but precisely because of that it can be used to drive other objects without you needing dot to fear it's going to appear in your renders. And with the copy attributes at dash on dot, it's as easy as shift selecting the camera. Let's choose this option to parent the camera to the empty. I'll show you why I like to animate these empties instead of cameras directly in a minute. Slide to some other spot dot on your timeline, comma dot, for example frame 120, and add another set of keyframes. Only the animation has an ease out and ease in curve to it, which means it starts slowly, comma dot, then gets gradually faster dot, and finally slows down again. Sometimes you want this, comma dot, but when you want a continual movement, comma dot, it looks very artificial. And choose this linear option. And now it feels more like a continual animation that we can put in between other shots. And you can even limit the timeline to only the portion dot where the camera is animated. I have this base animation, comma dot, but what if decided I wanted to move dot my camera slightly to the side, comma dot, or up, looking a bit more down? Well, normally I would fiddle with the keyframes, comma dot, editing them, redoing the keys dot, and losing precious time. Well, the animation itself remains the same. I adjust the position of the camera and its rotation, but the movement remains. What you can also do is to KYFREME dot the rotation of the camera independent on the movement of the empty. Not to mention that you dot can later parent different cameras to this empty, making more variations of the same camera movement. That's why I use this simple yet effective setup. Second fast way to animate cameras dot in a more advanced way dot is to use the fly-through mode that we had a look at in the previous lesson. For this workflow, comma dot, I do not actually use empties, comma dot, so it's a lot less reliable, but it gives you somewhat dot more organic camera moves. Let's create a new camera, comma dot, and now switch this little button up here dot in the outliner to choose this new camera as the active one. You'll immediately jump into this camera's view. Basically, what it does, comma dot, it disables the need to go in and hit the I button to add a KYFREME dot every time you make a change. Go to the beginning of the timeline dot, and now a slightly faster action will be needed. First, hit the play button dot, and then quickly hit the shift tilde key to get into dot the fly navigation mode. The time is still running, and you can now record your fly animation in real time. The result will be a little choppy, but you can always go in, comma dot, cut off some parts of the recorded keyframes that you don't like. And then for more editing, comma dot, switch to this graph editor. I like this freeform type of animation dot when I want to do some very quick tests of animated cameras. We'll be exploring a lot more ways to animate, constrain, and move your cameras cinematically in Chapter 9. However, comma dot, I do encourage you to experiment dot with camera placement, comma dot, its handling, and adding some keys. If you get familiar with these concepts now, you'll be good to go for the whole course.